I'm feeling good. I'm feeling hype. We're back for season 9 of the Super Cool Nerd Show. How are y'all doing out there? Did you miss us? Did you? We missed you.
They should have missed us.
I know, no kidding, right? Yes, we are back for another weekly news show of pop culture and entertainment that we do, running an hour long. But anyway, thank you all for joining us out there in the Super Cool Nerd Nation. I am Jason the X. This lady here is Kat.
Hi.
Nice hat.
Thanks.
You've done something. Did you cut your hair?
Not yet. It needs cut. Lots of dead ends.
Did you curl it or something? There's something different about
it. It's always curly.
I can't put my finger. Anyway. Over there's Kat. What are you doing? Why are you on your phone?
I'm trying to find our broadcast, and it took me like 5 minutes. Okay, hi.
It's a good advertisement.
YouTube.com/SCNS Live. And over there, also with a new hair color, it's Bryce.
It is a new hair color.
You lightened your hair.
I did. It's my natural hair color.
Wait, you were darkening your hair?
Yeah.
Prior to this.
Really?
Yeah.
Because he was playing, it was Robin, right?
Yeah.
Robin made you darken.
You darkened your hair just for cosplay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, who would ever dye their hair for cosplay?
That's weird.
People go way too far with it. Anyway, behind the board, don't at me or anything. Over there behind the board, producer Cora.
Hello.
How's the new board?
It's so pretty.
How do you guys like the new sound?
It's lovely.
It's very nice, isn't it? It's very nice.
It's wonderful.
We got some tech upgrades.
Yes.
Oh, I whistled. Sorry.
I love new stuff. What did you just do?
I was blowing on the mic and I whistled on accident. So
I think she spit too.
No.
Gross.
I saw it.
Okay, maybe a little.
Anyway, let's get right into
Fantastic.
how we do this all the time. We're going to start it off with some super cool nerd news. And as the title says, new format. So get ready for this. Anyway, it made $1 billion. One of my favorite movies from last year. But Captain Marvel is getting the sequel. The movie is being penned right now by current writer Megan McDowell, who is writing also the Scarlet Witch and Vision series, which I refuse to say that name. I just refuse to say WandaVision. What the?
I know. It's bad.
It's not fantastic.
Oh, just Scarlet Witch and Vision. Damn it. It's not cute. You're not clever. I'm pretty sure. Ooh, I hope she didn't come up with that title. Ooh. Anyway, she will be penning the movie. Sadly, Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck will not be returning to direct the sequel, but they are looking to stay and do some other movies within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but they're not coming back for Captain Marvel 2, which, hey, it's wide open for anybody that could direct this movie. I'm happy. It's still one of my favorite movies, even though some people here probably have a little bit of a problem with it. But $1 billion, this is a no-brainer that they're going to make a sequel to this.
Yeah.
You made us money. Welcome back.
Yeah.
We don't have a problem with it exactly. Just when you brought up the movie in the pre-production meeting that we had concerns about whether they were going to fix her overpoweredness.
Her complete lack of any
vulnerability
type of character struggle or growth at all in the first several movies she was in.
We're just waiting for another buddy movie that she had the first time around.
I don't understand. I love Carol knocking the crap out of space cruisers. I'm sorry. I giggled my ass off the whole time she was doing that.
It's very cool. It's a very cool visual. You know this about me. I don't really care about plot at all. I'm only there for characters. I want to see interesting characters doing interesting character stuff.
I enjoyed her interaction with Nick Fury.
She had banter, and they filled a lot of the movie with it. I just don't think it's, especially because there aren't enough women superheroes and superhero products. A woman who doesn't struggle with anything is not the experience that I've had.
Well, she gotta have a struggle, can't she?
Because that's what characters do.
Punch and blast things.
You can punch and blast things, but if you don't have some kind of struggle, whether it's emotional, physical, whatever it may be, your character comes off as bland and boring.
Yeah, that's the same problem that I have with Superman. I'm just saying I want them to address it
They could very well have her have like some kind of an identity crisis, or it doesn't have to be a physical struggle. It can be an emotional or an intellectual struggle.
Fine.
There just has to be something.
Okay.
Without conflict, there is no drama.
Or interpersonal.
Well, with a new
Exactly.
considering that Miss McConnell is coming off of WandaVision, where there's bound to be some conflict on there. Maybe that's why she was picked up in this.
Maybe.
Because Wanda, if they're doing what I think they're doing, is about to really cause some damage.
And that's Scarlet Witch is a very, very interesting character because of that kind of juxtaposition.
Oh, I'm all about this show. I hate the title.
This
That's about
whole
it.
thing. This is her
With
brother.
her
She doesn't know who she is.
Also a very powerful character.
Yes.
A very, very interesting one because of the problems that her powers have presented, which is a character
breaking
struggle.
reality.
Exactly. It's very interesting.
And, keeping your face pretty. Those slow motion twirls. That was an actor's struggle. They had to show her what her face looks like when it was mid tension with some of this, so that she could relax some of the face muscles and look
aggressive is great. Let's not go for cross-eyed.
Yeah.
Well, sadly, there's going to be plenty of time to develop this film because we don't have a date yet. We just have 2022.
Yeah.
So there's time. Which, damn. Anyway.
Well, if she struggles in the film, maybe it'll be somewhere in the narrative that she struggles with her music career, because that's what Brie Larson did.
Ooh.
She did struggle with that.
It's gonna be a struggle. I hope this is January 2022 because this is far too long.
I mean,
man.
the last one came out. What was that? March.
Yeah, we're gonna get Black
February?
Panther 2 before we get. I don't know. Are we?
Awesome.
I mean, Black Panther 2, he had struggles.
And we don't
And he
really
was
have
dope.
a timeline for this next phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We know that there are, I believe, if I do my calculation, 99 days until Black Widow. So be our first movie. It's not really even in the new phase. It's going to take place between Civil War and Infinity War.
Yeah.
So anyway, we do have a writer from Captain Marvel 2. Good luck, Miss McConnell. Please write us a good movie. Anyway, next up in movie news, something about bikes in Japan.
Well, I guess that's my cue. All right. There is a famous sports anime out there called Yowamushi Pedal, and it is going to be getting its first live-action movie. Now, it does have a live-action television series and animated movies, and I think it was 14 musicals since 2008. So as you can tell, it's very popular. It's going to be getting its first live-action movie. They've already cast Onoda, who is the main character. Little iffy how I feel about that because he looks really hot, and Onoda is supposed to be Onotaku. He is not supposed to be like appealing in looks at all. But we will see. He's already going through cycling training as we speak because he is going to have to cycle a lot on an actual street bike, which is really, really hard to cycle on. Even on a treadmill, that's hard. But we'll see. At the very least, we'll get to hear the beautiful Hime Hime song played on a big screen.
Is there something about cycling that I don't know?
Yeah, besides that, they have motorcycles now.
What do you mean?
Are street bikes harder than other bikes?
Yes.
to
Yes,
cycle?
absolutely.
A lot.
The tires themselves are like super, super thin, and
Okay.
the bikes weigh like half the weight of a normal bike.
Okay.
So it's really hard to keep yourself balanced.
And
it's
we
actually-
grew up on are called hybrid or mountain bikes. I discovered
Okay.
this when I took up biking a few years. Street bikes are very difficult, but they're a lot faster.
No. Okay.
Yes. And it's actually something that they touch on in the anime itself. I highly recommend going and checking out the first few episodes of it. Because it shows, because Onoda's used to like what we would call like a cruiser bike, where there's no gear shifts at all. It's just one speed, and you just have to pray you never find a hill. And he cycles up a hill constantly for school. So he's got a lot of good leg muscles, but when they put him on a street bike, he falls like constantly. He basically has to have someone holding it. So,
How many live action performances did you say?
for the musicals, there are 18 or
Hold on.
14, sorry.
How are there 14
14.
musicals about biking?
Welcome
There's
to
a
Japan.
lot. There's a lot of arcs within the anime and the manga, so they probably expounded on those. There's also several animated movies. They probably use some of those as as things. There's over 30 musicals for tennis, and they're still making Prince of Tennis musicals, and the anime is still going. So I mean, Japan.
I would have to lose a bet to watch this movie. I'm going to admit. Come on.
I'm going to be waiting with bated breath. It's going to be coming out in Japan in August, and I will be sitting here waiting to see when it's going to be released over here, because I will immediately be going to see it.
Unless you guys send her to Japan, which she would love.
Oh, please do.
There's no way she's getting there before me. Anyway, or we'll be on the same flight or something. Anyway, Bryce, what's going on?
I'm sitting over here.
Googling what
specifically.
Year it is.
I'm sitting over here with a brand new hairstyle.
So tell me about a newer and more interesting Justice League movie.
Are you thirsty for some dark, JL?
Are you propositioning me on behalf of someone else? Like, this is weird.
Do you know whose cup that is?
It was oddly sexual.
No.
Yeah, like
No. Well, yeah, it's Nerds with Coffee.
So what's happening?
Well, let me tell you, Rerun. I'll tell you right now. We don't know how much involvement J.J. Abrams has with this project that is coming up for Bad Robot, but Bad Robot has a deal with Warner Media, and they are developing both film and TV series based on DC's property, Justice League Dark. At this time, there are no specific projects or characters that they are releasing details on these deals, so I don't know when this project is coming. I just know that Guillermo del Toro had a script that he loved a year or two ago that he had developed, and I was very much looking forward to seeing this, and we have not been able to see anything from that because he left the project. I guess there were creative differences or something didn't sell. Not sure what happened. Maybe they couldn't get the budget and everything they needed to make it work, but Bad Robot's got it now, so we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Obviously, the DC streaming service had Swamp Thing for a season, and he is part of Justice League Dark, typically in the comics, along with Constantine and Deadman.
Zatanna.
Yep, and a few others, many others. So we don't know if it's going to be a TV or a movie, and we don't know when it's coming. But there was a animated feature that was released on Blu-ray, on DVD about 2 years ago, 2017. 3 years ago. I liked it.
It didn't end great for me, but I did like it.
Yeah. But you're saying this is a live action?
Yeah, well,
potentially.
We don't know.
So we have to get Matt Ryan.
But it doesn't seem like a sequel to Matt Ryan.
Of course. Like, Matt Ryan is more synonymous with his character as Constantine than almost anybody I've seen, where it's like you get Mark Hamill to do the Joker voice if you can, and you get Matt Ryan for anything live or really animated.
Actually, we could get Mark Hamill to voice Swamp Thing. He voiced him in Justice League Action.
He
did.
I would love to see Dark as a series. Honestly, I feel like you can't explore the depths of it as a movie. But I don't know that we'll get that. I would like to see it. You don't think so?
I don't think we get it as a series. I think our best bet would be a movie
and then a sequel. That is a movie, but I would love to see.
Well, I'm okay with a animated series. It doesn't have to be live action, but I'm happy to get whatever they can push out and let us see.
But if they do an animated movie, though, I would be really hoping for a better quality of animation than we've seen. Even with Justice League Dark, I have not been happy with WB's animation for the last 5 or 6 years.
Like, when was Batman
it's just
animated?
Yeah.
Did you watch Batman Ninja Turtles?
To be fair, I did not. I'm talking about mostly the like Justice League versus Teen Titans.
That art style.
Those movies.
Yeah.
I'm just.
They're
not
kind
a
of
fan
sticking
of
with that same formula. I think it's more
Magic.
just continuity. But if you want to talk about art styles, the Justice League Batman TMNT kind of dug the art style. So, but
I liked, and I know it's expensive, but I loved the Killing Joke.
Their
so animation style was beautiful.
Well, they got to get out of development hell for most of their stuff. So, yeah. So good luck.
To the DC tagline. Hopefully we'll get out of it.
Okay, moving on to television, and it's a big one. Bryce, kick it off.
All right. Yeah. Okay, I was trying to remember which story I was doing.
The only one.
Yeah, right. All right, so I'm sorry.
Nothing.
Oh,
Do I need to swing back
watching
around?
me struggle.
I need to swing back around.
All right. Steve Carell had. I didn't expect him to come to me right away again. Steve Carell has a new office and less gravity on Space Force in his new show, which is going to have 10 episodes.
I get it, Gravity.
Yeah.
This was not what I wanted him to go to.
Orbiting Netflix. Okay, what did you want me to go to?
No, go ahead.
Go.
Oh, I'm ready to rip on Space Force. Go right ahead.
Okay. Well, anyway, it's coming to Netflix in 2020 is what they're saying, but we don't know exactly when. What's interesting is that the actual U.S. Air Force has tweeted this week their uniform for U.S. Space Force, which is camouflage and
not even like the ocean camo.
No,
this is the salt I'm here for.
No, it's the patch. It says United States Space Command, and it looks just like something I think Gomer Pyle and Sergeant Carter would have worn.
Looks like something out of Stargate.
Yeah,
I love this because when Space Force, the actual one, tweeted out, "Here's our uniform with our tags," all of because Army, they have woodland cam, all working forces in the military. We have woodland camo for woodland. We have desert. We have Arctic. We even have blue for when you're out at sea. What the fuck are you wearing camo for, Space Force?
And there's our one.
This is not a show for kids.
They would have done better if it was entirely black with little dots.
I mean,
with little white dots on it.
I mean, Coast Guard, they do blue because they're out there. They're on the, so, yeah. I think all of the real armed forces, Air Force, Army, Navy, Marines, even Coasties, you are no longer the burden of our ire.
You are no longer the butt of the U.S. military.
We are now ready to make fun of Space Force.
Did you hear this man say he would forgive the Marines?
Seriously?
For their
yeah,
travesties?
see, that's the thing. When we're all together, we'll rip on each other. But the moment it's like white blood cells. But the moment something foreign comes in, we're all over that shit.
Like when you and your friends are all like being mean to each other, and then the one chick that you hate walks in, and all your eyes just slowly go over.
We're
Coasties, we are done. Join in the fun. So,
hey, that rhymed.
The rest of the military no longer hates
that
you.
makes it more well thought out than their entire launch.
They tried to take credit for GPS on Christmas, and they actually responded to me, and I'm like, well, I'm going to be the first veteran to be banned on Twitter by Space Force. They were like, we're completely serious. I'm like, because I was like, what are you taking credit for GPS? You've been around for all of 2 seconds. Shut up. No, we're completely serious. Or I'm like, and here comes the ban.
Camo, which makes you stand out more than the spaceships themselves. Like,
y'all have nothing.
Well, it's a budget saver. You mentioned the actual Twitter account for
the U.S. Space
Space Force. Well, the actual @Real Space Force for Steve Carell's show tweeted out their uniform, which I love. It's called the Real Space Force, but the uniform looks a lot like what you've seen put out by the Air Force and our government. But this one is completely looks like the moon's surface. It's
allow me. I forgot to put
wonderful.
that in the show, but allow me to just drop this in right here. There we go.
So wonderful.
Right here.
So the patch is great. The Department of the Space Force. This looks like something I've seen from an old toy line. Actually, this patch. It's wonderful. So I just want to share with you there's an actual space policy directive by the government that says the Department of Defense will marshal its space resources to deter and counter threats in space and protect satellites. And they're going to deter threats, i.e., Imperial
Apophis and
Imperial 1 class Star Destroyers, Klingon battle cruisers, and Klendathu
and the Goa'uld
bugs invasions.
And the Goa'uld, obviously.
Also,
so it's the only problem I have with the unis, I think they should have been Starfleet because that would have looked so much better when our space troops went up against an angry Marvin the Martian. In my opinion.
But is it the ones that you have to pull down all the time?
Yes,
or the
you have to do the Picard maneuver.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
just go to Twitter and just put Space Force uniforms. It's
Fantastic.
people are like, I have the real uniforms. It's like a stormtrooper or something.
Yeah.
Or Spaceballs, even worse.
That's fantastic.
I just have one question. Do you think when our actual government moves our Space Force and the Space Command decides to make a moon base alpha, do you think they're going to have any problems occupying that? With Wallace and Gromit, do you think they're going to have any issues with them?
Oh my god!
Want to get some cheese? But we could run an hour-long show ripping on Space Force. So.
I'm looking forward to that, Steve Carell.
All right, moving on. We are in anticipation of Marvel's Moon Knight series that's coming. And good news, we have a writer, and he's coming with some cred. Writer Bo DeMeo will be pinning the Moon Knight series. His last work, The Witcher.
Yeah, you might have heard of The Witcher. It blew up Netflix.
Showrunner is going to be Jeremy Slater. Bo DeMeo is the first writer. He also did the originals. He only wrote the 3rd episode of The Witcher, but he's writing the Vampire Diaries spinoff, the originals, and he's written some of the Vampire Diaries comic. But they are beginning production in the UK for Moon Knight, though, which I'm kind of surprised at.
That's weird. Unless they have
Why don't go to Canada like everybody?
Benedict Cumberbatch, maybe. Potentially, he trained under Doctor Strange for a minute.
I don't think we're gonna get into that.
I don't think so either. But I don't know. It's just weird that they started in the UK. So
maybe they like fish and chips.
Maybe.
The series is expected to release sometime in 2021 or 2022. Currently, they are casting though for a Jewish actor to play the lead role of Mark Spector. So, good luck. Bring it on. Bring on my crazy Moon Knight.
David Krumholtz. No. He was the head elf in Santa Claus.
No, I know. I just
oh my god.
Maybe.
And you're going to move on to something even more twisted.
Then my childhood crush could be my crush
he was
again.
Adorable. I have the biggest crush.
He's so good.
What's going on in Blumhouse?
Blumhouse is developing a documentary series about the Satanic Panic of the 1970s. It will be called Fall River. It's a real town. It's a real town. The documentary takes place in a real town. It's where a young woman named Lizzie Borden lived. But this is not actually about this. It's about three.
That wasn't then, though.
3 young women were murdered in the 1970s. It was blamed on a so-called cult headed by Carl Drew. And we're going to see a documentary series about
You
it.
have my attention.
I think that's the man that's heading this documentary also did something about the virgin suicides. I think this is a different thing. But yeah, Blumhouse is developing a documentary series. They haven't really been known for documentaries, although they have done a few of them in the past. They are obviously known for horror, which this kind of fits into both categories, right? Because it is about not necessarily the ridiculous satanic panic of some of the 1970s. This actually was people were murdered. This was a real thing that happened. But it's Blumhouse and Epix are going to collaborate on this.
People killed with the dumbest logic ever. Hey, if we hold her underwater and she dies, she wasn't a witch.
They didn't hold her. They waited to see if she floated.
That's
also
not the same thing.
Also in television news, and this is slightly more iffy on if this is going to happen, Quentin Tarantino said that he's going to make a TV series based on his about to be Oscar-winning movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. The series, if it comes to fruition, will be called Bounty Law. It's supposed to be a spin-off. To be fair, this is not the first time Tarantino has said that he's making a television show. It's happened several times in the past.
Which one was the other one?
Star Trek had one, I think.
He said he was gonna make a Star Trek movie, I think, at one point. I think one of the old ones, like Reservoir Dogs or something. He said he was gonna make a TV show.
Oh yeah.
There's been a few things, and enough that when she and I were talking about it earlier this week, both me and another friend of ours, Chris,
we'll believe it when we see it.
We're both like, yeah, we'll see if that happens. I'd be
sure
interested,
you are, Quinn.
but we'll see if that happens.
Yeah, but it's been he did say it, so there is a chance that it's happening, but we're still kind of we'll believe it when we see it.
That he talks about, he does.
That's true. He did the Hateful Eight, so
Tarantino did pitch the Star Trek movie to Paramount or whoever.
Did they not like it because it was just Tim Roth?
I don't think he wants to direct it. He just wanted to put the story out there and hope they'll run with it, because he's basically one movie away from retirement.
Yeah,
is what he stated.
Yeah, he said he'd do 10 and he's at 9.
Yeah.
So
is that Satanic?
The TV show wouldn't be a movie.
Right. That's true. Is that Satanic Panics? Is that going to be at the disco?
Oh my God.
Satanic Panic at the Disco.
Wow. And with that, you're going to have to go into the next story. What's going on with number 1?
Yeah. Number 1. Me?
You put it on the list here. Yeah, you.
We talking about Picard?
No spoilers.
Sorry, my whole brain shut down.
No
yeah,
spoilers.
Picard.
Okay. Well, so it premiered on the 23rd. And that's today.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched it, and you know what? Everybody should watch it.
Really?
Patrick Stewart. Why did I pronounce his last name like that?
I'm not sure.
Anyway, whatever. Stuart Little. I think I did a Stuart Little there.
Just keep going.
Patrick Stewart is amazing in this, and this director for episode 1, Hanley Culpepper, I think is her name. I mean, she is fantastic putting this thing together. I really love this show, and I know probably comes as no surprise since I'm a Trekkie, but I was actually my expectations were exceeded, and I already had high expectations. So
this is the opinion I was waiting for.
Are you a Trekkie?
I would have never guessed.
Let me tell you.
I don't think you've ever mentioned that.
Yeah. No spoilers. This show was fantastic, and
this shit was fantastic.
Right? Oh my God!
Hour-long episodes.
Hour-long episodes.
Okay, good.
My tear ducts produced 2 tears watching the show.
Was it on the left side, both of them?
No. And
that's so specific a reference.
Yeah, and
when you're sad, it comes out the left. When you're happy, it comes out the right.
That's an OG.
Yeah. The great news is I saw Patrick Stewart on The View with I don't know whoever those 4 ladies are, plus Whoopi Goldberg. And
I don't care about the others, just Whoopi.
Yeah, and your favorite space bartender was invited by Patrick Stewart to come and be a part of season 2, to which she started tearing up and becoming emotional about it, and had to give Patrick a big hug on camera.
Patrick Stewart putting the producers on the spot of Star Trek. Like, oh damn! No,
okay. At this point, though, like if Patrick Stewart tells you to do something, you're like, yes, sir.
Right.
I mean, pretty much. Yeah, he can.
Producers are like, yes, sir, we'll do that.
If you say no, then you know he's got backup.
Yeah,
you're gonna have it. What's his
very
face?
angry Ian McKellen in your
show
office.
Up and be like, did you tell my best friend?
My best friend.
It's like a Jedi mind trick. Jason, I need you to just. Oh, okay.
Sure. Yes, sir. Yep.
I'm going.
Sorry, we don't have it done already.
Yeah.
You're right. My bad. Sorry.
So to say I'm excited about the rest of the 9 episodes that I haven't seen of Picard, and already they've renewed season 2, that should tell you the executives and the people in charge at CBS All Access have a lot of faith in this series, and the writers.
I'll be after the show.
Yeah, like I'm super excited about it. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm going to tonight. Probably.
Literally anything he does, I'm like, okay,
cool.
Yes,
I'm going to sleep in my Star Trek pajamas.
I bet you have a onesie.
I don't doubt that he has them.
Because it's
you
winter.
have a footsie.
You have footsie pajamas, don't you? With the feet on them.
Wouldn't you like to know?
I would.
Yeah, that's why.
I know that's why you just asked.
Thing you've ever said, I think, like in a weird way.
Yeah.
To us, anyway.
Works.
Presumably there's something. So. Anyways.
And to finish off the television news, we did get the trailer. What? Are you done?
What? Oh. Fathers wearing Star Trek footy pajamas can't be sexy?
No, I said it was the sexiest thing you've ever said.
Now we're settled on that.
Anyways.
So we did get the trailer for Star Wars The Clone Wars Season 7. We're going out with a bang, 12 episodes, and we have a release date, February 21st. Now, I'm excited. There were things I saw in there like a young Kanan Jarrus standing next to his Jedi Master around the table. I was very happy. Or Caleb Doom, as his real name is. They showed off some fights between Darth Maul and Ahsoka.
Sorry, keep going.
What? Anyway, what?
Was that a spoiler? I haven't watched the series.
No, it's in the
yet.
trailer. No, it's just on the trailer.
Okay.
Well, I mean, some of it's not spoiler because we know this takes place between Rebels.
I was just talking about the name.
Hey, spoilers.
Spoiler that one guy is another guy.
No, they said it in Rebels.
No, his real name.
Yeah, and if you didn't watch Rebels, well, you're not a real fan. Anyway.
Hey.
Whoa.
It does look like it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of it's kind of like we know there's not going to be. We saw Ahsoka in Rebels, so we know she's going to make it. We saw Darth Maul in Rebels, we know that he's going to. Even though we got to see him show up, and we kind of know what the fate of the Jedi are because we all watch Revenge of the Sith, sadly. And but I'm still excited for it. I want to see I don't know how far they're going to go into it. I think they're going all the way up to Order 66, though.
Wow.
Yeah, so that'll be kind of. Ugh. Anyway, February 21st. Check out the show on Disney Plus. So
this is my favorite part of the saga. Don't
let your subscriptions lapse just yet. There's still more coming. So, although some of you may have after Mandalorian, we'll watch Mandalorian again. Anyway,
it had a couple of hiccups in it, but I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, Clone Wars. You got to like really make it through those first 2 seasons.
I'm at the Mandalorian,
and then it gets good. But I'm excited they're going to get to be able to end the story the proper way.
Yeah,
I'm glad they brought it back. The crowd reaction when they announced this was positively fantastic at D23, just out of nowhere. And people in the audience went ape. And then they started bringing out the voice actors. And it's great.
Oh, we also, I saw on Twitter, Sam Witwer voicing Darth Maul. They showed a little clip of him and how into it he gets, which is always fun to see.
I did not see the behind the scenes.
It was super cool.
Okay, I have to go watch it. But yes, let's finish off the Clone Wars. Though we kind of know what happens, but I'm still here for it.
Yeah.
All right. Some gaming news. Hannah, I noticed that you threw in.
Who's Hannah?
I'm sorry, Cora. I'm sorry. I said my hands. Hannah's my hands.
You named your hands Hannah? That's really weird.
Super weird.
Tell us about another possible dating sim that you're going to get me to play.
All right, so Jason, you're in luck. I'm not going to get you to play this one because it'll be a little bit harder for us to stream this one since it is on the mobile devices. Coming from Genius Games is going to be a new game called My Mystic Dragons, where you are the princess of your descendant princess of dragon hunters, and you have dragon princes for which you can pick from. You have the fire dragon. Take a wild guess which one on here is the fire dragon. It's probably the one in red. Spoiler alert. The one with the long hair is a water dragon. We don't know much about the short-haired one, but I'm going to go with air dragon just because then you have 3 of the elements. It looks really pretty. All of these cute dragon boys. I will probably play it because I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff, and it does seem kind of interesting. Now, I've never played anything from the studio before, so I have no idea what the writing is like or anything like that, but if it's anything like some of the Ikemen series from a different studio, it's gonna be great.
A part of me is like, you and these dating sims that you pick. But also, I mean, why play a regular ass dating sim?
Yeah.
Why not go bang a dragon?
I was
exactly
too when I thought it was dragons.
Or a bird.
You were a dragon trying to bang another dragon.
Colonel Sanders.
Colonel Sanders, exactly. Like,
is that what the action is called? Because that would be horrible.
No, there is one for Colonel Sanders. Yes. Remember we talked about this last season.
That's what the kids are calling it these days. I'm gonna go Colonel Sanders. What's her face?
It turns out they thought their parents thought they were gonna go eat chicken. So
yeah.
So I did. Did you have an image for that, by the way?
Yes, I did put it up.
Yeah, you put it up with it.
Yep.
I was more just like, wow.
Dragons that look
exactly and they look like dragon-human hybrids.
Yeah. Essentially, it's like cat girls. You know how they have like little cat ears and little cat tails? It's like that, but the dragons have like more animalistic ears and they have big horns. I'm assuming they probably have wings and tails. And also, if it's anything like some other games I've seen, maybe they have a dragon form. Please give them a dragon form. Tell me they have a dragon form. Because, I mean, what's the point of dating a dragon, possibly sleeping with a dragon, if there's not a dragon form?
Yeah, you're just.
I'm just going to go ahead and say this game should not have been put out in mobile, mainly because you should be playing this in your home where no one can see you.
Hey,
with your own dragon tail and dragon
I'm
ears.
I'm going to go to the DMV
dragon
or something
onesies.
and just kind of lifting it up so other people can be uncomfortable
just people
over my shoulder. We absolutely can.
I want dragon onesies with a pillow that you can take off and use.
Yes!
That would be
Or
cute.
just like a really long tail.
Or like what are the Japanese, the animal suit?
Kigurumis. Yeah. They do have dragon kigus, so...
Yeah, that's true.
We need to expand our onesie collection.
Oh, boy.
We have Batman onesies, and they are wonderful. We need more.
Will there be a kaiju dating sim?
Oh, I can almost guarantee you that there's already one out there.
See that?
I will research that for you. Okay. I can almost promise it because in the words of
dog. What's the dog that was Cujo?
Well, we have spent a lot of time on this subject.
Also, just gonna point out,
we got a release date or anything yet?
We do not have a release date. This was literally announced like a couple of days ago. They teased it a little bit, and they officially announced it, I believe it was yesterday, that this game will be coming out. They did just release one like within the last month, so it'll probably be a little bit, but we will keep you abreast with the information. Mostly because you will see me playing it before the show.
No, I won't be.
Oh, yes, you will.
All right, moving on with some gaming news. We're all D&D fans out there, and some of us have used Hero Forge before to get our miniatures. Well, they had a Kickstarter about 9 days ago that started. Their original price they were asking was $42,000. They achieved that in 20 minutes. Within 12 hours, they had gone over $1 million. And currently, with 9 days left of their Kickstarter, at 21,672 backers, they are at $821,048. People want minis that they can print in color, clearly.
Yes.
They've gone public and said this is far exceeded what we were planning. They are saying they're going to possibly expand the operation. Maybe this will become the new standard for Hero Forge. I did back them as well. I had no idea. They blew out all the stretch goals they had. There were no stretch goals left after like 10 hours.
How long did you say it's lasting?
Oh, it's a 30-day Kickstarter. But in 20 minutes, they met the goal.
Right. I'm saying how much longer do I have?
Oh, you got 21 days to donate to it. I was surprised because I knew I followed them on Twitter and I saw that it went live. And of course, I'll give it a second. And I went back to my desk to back them. And it'd only been alive for a little while. And when I clicked pay and went back, it was funded. I saw they were like, oh, it's $5,000 in. That's cool. Okay.
Do all the information.
And then it was and the numbers, and it didn't just pass it; it blew past it.
Yeah.
It hit 42 while I was watching, and then immediately went up to 50.
Certain D&D nerds will be familiar with this type of funding.
So
Critical Role trying to fund their whatever they were gonna do at first, 8 episodes.
At first, it was gonna be a special.
Yeah, and they just blew theirs out of the water. Now they have 2 seasons guaranteed on Amazon,
which is awesome.
I backed that one.
In other D&D news, if you like Critical Role, then you will soon be able to play in the world of Critical Role. The Explorer's Guide to Wildmount is coming out soon. You can pre-order it right now, and it is making some pretty big numbers. It has the most pre-orders since the core rule book came out.
Wow.
Which is just absolutely insane. 5e, since the 5e core rule book came out, has the most pre-orders. I don't have the number in front of me, but it's very exciting. It features a new, entirely different form of magic in Dunamancy. Obviously, you can play in Wildmount with the Kreen and with the Dynasty and the Empire. And it's very, very exciting.
It makes me wonder how long he's been in talks for this. Yeah. I know there's several classes that he's created and tweaked, like Blood Hunter as a mat class. There's a few others, and it just makes me wonder how long this was in the works. But more than that, I think it's every DM's wet dream that your world is so amazing that Wizards of the Coast is yes, we'll take that, please. Yeah. And good for them. They've done a lot for D&D. I'm happy to see them in a sponsorship that so few people will object to.
We won't get into that.
Oh, okay.
Seriously, that so few people will be mad about.
Yes.
Like, it's nice.
Kat, you've got a couple stories here. Tell me about what's going on with Sony.
Okay, so Sony, and this is just kind of a by the way, there are several places reporting that we could see the PS5 design or unveiled in a matter of weeks. Several sources say before the end of February.
Wow.
And yeah, just see it. I don't know. They don't have firm release dates, and Sony hasn't said a lot officially about it. But for all of us who know that it's coming soon, we're just kind of eager to get the announcement over with, so we can figure out if we can afford it.
So, what are they going to have for E3 in the summertime?
That's when I was excited. I was expecting to see.
I mean,
but if they're announcing like to view it early,
there's no way.
I think something got leaked, and they have to come out ahead of it.
Fair enough.
Like, that's my guess.
Oh, I don't like
Xbox X is in the same spot with some of their ports. I don't know.
I don't like when things get spoiled before. Like,
it's definitely a bummer.
Don't either. Like, I'm kind of done with
like when Target screwed over Assassin's Creed and.
Yeah. Well, it's not
Assassin's Creed was planning on doing that to themselves.
Thank you.
Because they have many
Still
times
buying the
before.
next one, unfortunately. Every time I think I've given up, and they're like, "Oh, by the way, this one's about Vikings," and I'm like, "Vikings, you say? You can play as a woman, you say?" They keep on reeling me back in.
Well, they named a woman after you to try and get you to
play. They did name a woman after me. Absolutely, that's what happened.
Yeah. So that's going on in gaming. Also, if you hadn't been keeping up with game delays before, Cyberpunk and something else got announced last week as being delayed.
Doom, I think.
Actually, we did, interestingly, a dry run of this new format where I said, is this setting up this thing where game developers just release things late, and then the next week, Dying Light 2 announced that it will be out late, Marvel Avengers, that it will be late, and Last of Us 2 also being delayed.
I'm so sad about that.
I mean, really, like, if you're a Last of Us fan, you did not expect it to come out.
I really didn't.
Like, there's a bootleg company making figures of Ellie and Joel.
I would love an Ellie and Joel.
Oh, I'll show you the figures. We talked about them on another show. We do alternate heads. Currently on the channel.
But yeah, lots more delays. Also, in other news, League of Legends unveiled a Louis Vuitton skin in the game, which weird. I think is weird. It's interesting. Also, I wouldn't have thought Louis Vuitton would be the one to jump on this. I thought it would be somebody newer. But I have no interest in playing the game. Yeah. So I don't need the skin.
Or anything to do with Louis Vuitton, for that matter.
League of Legends is just not my jam. I try. I like when Monte Cristo does commentary on it, because I can watch that, but, like, no. And also, just as a by-the-by, when you're looking at elections, try and keep up with which politicians hate all video game designers because they think they're creepy. Joe Biden said last week, caused a big uproar. We're not doing political commentary beyond the fact that it happened, and just look up what he actually said because it wasn't great. Also, Fortnite announced a TikTok contest for the next dance emote. Now, it's uninteresting, except where I want to talk about Fortnite. Epic Games got sued a number of times for, like, copyright violation for dances that they put out without people's permission. Famously, like, the Carlton is a dance emote in the game, and he sued. What's his name sued?
Alfonso Ribeira.
Why?
Because our phones think we're talking to him.
Nope. There's no way to make it not make that noise, which sucks. Anyway, do we think dances have some interesting laws around them? Do we think this falls under the pay artists for their work?
I think this is a perfect opportunity to rip off some poor bastard who's going to be like, "Yay, I won! How much do I get paid? Nothing."
I mean, they're. I don't think they're even saying that they're going to pay them. I don't know if it falls under the same thing exactly, because people who create a dance are not necessarily as likely to be choreographers as people who draw are to be. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think it's definitely a complicated question. and also I think dances, it's a form of art that is one of the more likely to come around kind of accidentally. And so we don't actually know if what's his face invented the Carlton dance or if he saw someone doing it.
He saw somebody doing something kind of similar.
Okay. And he made it his own.
Yeah, and it was like that was open. It's a reference to a famous dancer.
He did not win his case, if I remember.
He didn't. None of them have.
Yeah.
I thought Soldier Boy won.
None of the Fortnite ones, I don't think, won. I think Soldier Boy lost. I think the Kid lost. Backpack Kid lost. They do have specific rules for what is considered that, and I'm not trying to gatekeep dancers out of the artist community at all. I don't know. Is this an opportunity for exposure in the way that most of the time when companies say that it's BS?
I don't think. Yeah, no, I don't think. I think that is BS.
I think it usually is. I don't know if I think it is this time. Because streamers.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't know. It's so easy to just take advantage of something. And if we're going down that road, dancers and choreographers already don't get paid enough.
That is true. I don't think I love it. I think it's more epic BS.
Yeah.
But that's happening in gaming. Anyway, that's all my gaming stuff.
All right. Well, speaking of gaming, Cora.
Ooh, are y'all ready for some salt?
I'm
so ready.
Yeah, I have so much salt. Okay, so I have a love-hate relationship with the Kingdom Hearts series. I really enjoyed Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2. I really liked the changes they made as they went along. I like the difference in play styles. I like all of those great things about it. But I have issues with you, Kingdom Hearts. And this game is proving why. So we will be having another mobile game coming out for Kingdom Hearts called Project Xehanort. And the mobile game is the backstory for the game's villain. So the reason why he went on the path of darkness is going to be in a mobile game that not everyone can play because, not everyone's phone can handle that kind of stuff. I'm not okay with that. Like, I have been very patient and kind with the fact that Kingdom Hearts has basically spread their story over like 20 different platforms. And if you haven't played all of those games, you have no idea what's going on. They had a mobile game before, and we were told that it was going to be optional. Like, it was not going to be canon. It is now one of the biggest parts of Kingdom Hearts 3, and if you didn't play the mobile game, you have no idea what's going on.
I believe the terminology is back on their bullshit again.
Yes. Yeah. Square, and this is not the first time, and this is not the only incident where Square is doing this with video games. It's also being done with Final Fantasy 15, with, the boy band travel across the world kind of stuff. They have their game spread over all kinds of stuff and multiple DLCs, and it leaves me to just... DLCs should be optional and should not be giving you shouldn't have like plot important things in it. And Kingdom Hearts 3's DLC, if you don't have it, you don't get major plot points in your story. With this mobile game, why did Xehanort turn to darkness? Why is that plot important? Well, you'll have to play the mobile game to find out. What kind of BS is this? Why?
This is the kickoff to 20 more years of bullshit is what this is.
Yes, it
is. I'm too old now. I'm sorry, Kingdom Hearts. I can't do this again.
Yeah. DLCs are meant to be an extra little adventure.
Exactly.
And it's the same problem that we have with whatever that word is, microtransaction. Like, I shouldn't have to pay to get the game that I already paid for.
Well, and importantly, not all DLCs are paid.
Right.
But if they are, that's
the Kingdom Hearts one is definitely paid, and so is all of the
and most
15.
of them are. But like, I just want to separate the conversation from like free DLCs.
Yes.
Okay to make canon.
Yes, absolutely.
If paid DLCs are different and not okay.
Like, for example, the DLCs that came for Breath of the Wild, I love those. They were completely optional. They gave you some cool perks, but completely optional. Didn't really change the story if you didn't do them, and didn't hold plot importance, so you didn't feel like you needed to. Fire Emblem Three Houses, a lot of their DLCs have been completely optional. They give you different clothes. They do have one coming out soon that is like a new adventure with the heads of houses and then one of the members from the houses as well, going with you into the sewers to find some new characters and stuff. But again, it's not based on the plot. Like, if you don't get that DLC, you just miss out on some cool character stuff. You don't miss out on your plot.
Yeah.
With Kingdom Hearts 3, if you don't get that DLC, you lose part of the story. If you don't play this mobile game, you have no idea why the villain is doing what he's doing, and he just looks like more of an idiot. Like, it makes even less sense. Square, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Get it together.
I'm not doing this again. I'm not doing it again. I can't. I just can't. Anyway, I am going to sneak a little bit of toy and collectible news in here. I know, but you can really find that kind of content on Alternate Heads every 2 weeks on SCNS Live on the YouTube channel. Check it out.
Yeah,
anyway,
you really should watch it.
But the classic movie loved by everybody, The Iron Giant, is getting what I can only say is the best figure ever released for this property.
Is it the kid?
You get Hogarth. You do get a little Hogarth that is able to be held. You even get a little car with Hogarth in it that you can spin around. The Iron Giant Deluxe figure is being made by Mondo. Highly detailed, 30 points of articulation, interchangeable heads, hands, weapons on his arms, the little S that he can put on his chest as well, and sound clips from the movie.
Oh.
Now, and also 12 inches tall, so it's a big figure, but you gotta pay. And right now, unfortunately, you can't pay because it is sold out, but the price tag on this thing is $300.
Ooh.
Yeah, light, sound, all kinds of accessories.
Does it walk?
No, it doesn't walk.
Does it serve me my breakfast?
It is not the Butterbot from Rick and Morty, okay?
But it's not.
What is my purpose?
It is the same purpose of these up here, okay? I have spent this money on figures. I don't care.
Yeah, we're not clear on what you.
Mine was a quote from Rick and Morty, but go off, I guess.
I know. I don't care. Yes, it's $300. So what? Sometimes you pay for quality.
Did you order it?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
So moving on to
He did.
He did.
He did.
So we're gonna get a review of that, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
Gonna get it.
I'm clearing out a spot for him when he gets here. Anyway.
Oh, I'd like to see that.
Well, are you taking the day off for when it's supposed to arrive? So
Yes.
you'll be here when
Yes,
it comes?
I do. When it's expensive stuff, I'm waiting. I'm waiting by the door. Don't drop my box, mailman. Anyway, let's finish this off with some science news. And we have shipped trash all over the world as the United States. But guess what? Some people are sending it back. Malaysia has initiated an effort to basically send... We've been sending trash to lower income countries for a long time. Basically like, here's our garbage. Please store it somewhere. Well, Malaysia is basically sending back 3,737 tons of plastic waste that were illegally brought into the country by developed countries. 43 containers were sent back to France, 42 to the UK, 17 to the US, 11 to Canada, and other countries out there. And expect more. 110 containers are scheduled to be sent back in 2020, and 60 of those are coming to us. So this is truly...
we weren't the worst for
This is truly a case of our past is coming back to haunt us.
I just want to know one thing. Are we paying for the return postage? Because I don't think we should have to pay for that.
Actually, they are paying for it to get it out of their country. They're sending it back to where it came from.
We sent them our trash.
Well, this is also waste that
was
was
sent illegally.
Yeah, like I think we should have to pay for that.
I'm being sarcastic.
Okay.
I'm on Wally's side. Okay.
To give you a metric for this, in 2018, 78% of the plastic waste that we put out was exported.
How?
And,
what?
And at mismanagement rates of up to 8%. So there's 8% that we don't know where it went.
It was incinerated.
Apparently, it's all
Okay,
floating
but
on a
like if
trash
it was
island in the
illegally
Pacific.
sent, that indicates that we did know that it was illegally sent, but we tracked those, or that 8% is only that many tons is only 8%.
In other words,
I didn't know this was a thing that was happening.
This
We're
is
just
the thing.
shipping our trash to other countries.
This is why it's the
our
science
literal
portion of the
trash,
show.
not us as trash, but our literal trash.
Yeah, and we aren't the only ones that were doing it.
I mean, I ship myself to Korea.
And we're basically shipping it
I
to
would gladly ship myself
third
to
world,
Korea.
underdeveloped countries, and like just take care of this.
That's so messed
and
up.
now that they've gotten developed, they're like, you know what? We're not going to take your trash anymore. And you know what? Good on them. This is we shouldn't have done this in the first place.
I didn't know that it was a thing. I will say that Malaysia as a country made sense to me a lot more after seeing that, because you've seen like the pickup trash. The beach in Malaysia was always one of the worst places for just garbage everywhere. And I was like, how does this even happen? And the answer is us.
Well, on top of that, Indonesia and the Philippines and some other East Asian countries are joining in on that. Ooh. They've also got a bunch of our trash, and they're going to be sending it back. China actually instituted a law in 2018. We're not taking anybody else's garbage, which is kind of a no-shit law.
But also, if we were shipping trash to Malaysia illegally, that means that we don't care about their law.
Like your law doesn't matter a lot.
So insert your environmental proposal here, but we're going to have a big problem here because we got to get rid of this stuff. Anyway, moving on. I think you have the last stories of the day.
I've got one as well.
Oh,
why don't you do yours first? Because mine are all
okay. Mine is a Jason Trash palette cleanser. So at Zachary Levi on Twitter has
purest, hottest man. Mm-hmm. I love him.
Oh yeah. He has talked in the past couple of days about one of the greatest days of his life. And I'm so glad that recent birthday girl, 98-year-old Betty White, has found love again with Zachary Levi. As hopefully the picture shows, you can see that he has presented her with an engagement ring. So I guess there will be, there's going to be a ceremony and,
I think in this situation, he has to take her last name.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So he states they've been on one long extended honeymoon, and she completes him. So
that's
good for the two of them.
Cute.
That's adorable. Plus, like, if it was some other celebrities, you'd be like, well, did they need the name recognition? Zachary Levi has been in everything recently. Like, his name recognition had already skyrocketed. So I think it's cute because you don't have to worry about, like, anything. He's just being a sweetheart.
Yeah.
I wish them happiness on their budding romance.
Did you see Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds fighting on her birthday about who loved Betty White more?
Yeah.
They had this whole Twitter conference.
As they were singing Happy Birthday to her. Yeah, it was great.
Give us the last two.
So I have like 5. Clearview AI put out a facial recognition nightmare AI. So girls, be prepared to start wearing that makeup that like makes your features not tracked. Facebook lost a court case this week to conceal a bunch of leaks in, I think, Michigan, maybe? Not sure. Yeah, they have 90 days to publish the information about all this data that they leaked, and they're not very happy about it. Simultaneously this week, they were excited to brag about how they suspended tens of thousands of apps for privacy violation. Wow. Literally tens of thousands suspended, not unapproved, revoked.
Yeah.
For privacy violations. And they thought that was a good thing. We'd be happy to hear. I was not as surprised as I would have liked to be. But yeah, so Facebook still got all your crap.
We should all quit Facebook.
I'm trying to. Like, I want to get off it. I'm just on it for show stuff now. Anyway, that's other news. Microsoft is sneaking ads into WordPad, the free text editor, advertising that you should have to buy Office.
You bastards. Well, wait, I'm off.
We're not surprised. And there's a whole thing with Apple, who has the best encryption scores still. FBI is trying to force them to make it easier to be let in the back door and not do like an encryption stuff. So far, Apple has said F you.
Yeah.
And the FBI wants it to get to the bottom of some very real concerns, including shootings. And they want to be able to unlock the phones, and I support the FBI being able to do their job, except that you can't revoke encryption for just one person. So, as of right now, Apple's still the safest place to have your data.
All right. Well, at least I stand on principle they won't unlock. I'm sorry, they won't do it there.
Yeah, Tim Apple's not about it.
Tim Apple. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining us for the new season. Let us know what you think about the new format in the comments below. You know what the comment section is. But we do have a couple of announcements to make. We will be attending AllCon this year, and we're actually doing a little bit more participation. We will be participating in the celebrity D&D game. That will be on March 14th. Cora and I will be at the Challenge of the All-Father. A couple of friends of ours will be joining in this game too. It's probably going to be loads of fun. And guess what? Cosplay was encouraged on this. And if you watch our D&D streams, I will be bringing Cassidy to that game.
Oh, awesome.
Yes, my wife is actually encouraging me to dress up as Cassidy. She's like,
awesome.
get the coat. Here's the coat.
Yes.
I found the coat. You need this coat. So
That's dope.
it's going to be a lot of fun. AllCon itself is a great event going on. It starts Thursday. It's free. March 12th through the 15th. It's a great event. We'll be attending.
It's PartyCon.
It is
party
totally a
con.
PartyCon. You should definitely go. It's going to be
Stuff like
a
karaoke,
good time.
Like it's a good time.
Oh yeah. Also plugging some of our new shows. We are filming episodes of Nerds with Coffee. There's still water in this damn cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. There are shorter videos. We're doing lots of fun things on there. Playing games, eating gross things. He just spilled water on her.
Why?
I thought mine was empty. I really did.
That was
I really
amazing.
thought it
Oh
was
my God.
empty.
Why?
We got to get off screen.
Okay.
All right. And that first episode will be airing February 3rd. Make sure you're here for
I thought
that.
it was empty.
And we're also bringing D&D back. There'll be announcements about that. But if you want to follow all of us, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at SCNS Live. But if you want to follow us individually, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at JasonTheX.
You can find me sometimes on Instagram or Twitter at BetterCat.
You can find me on Instagram at the Good Cast or the Bad Cast, depending on what quality of pictures you
This
like.
is a bad cast.
And this is definitely a Bad Cast one. And on Twitter at the Good Cast.
And at the laundromat.
And yeah.
I got to admonish you about this water. We have expensive microphones on this table, sir.
I really thought this was empty.
Where can they
No,
find you?
where?
Turns out it wasn't empty at all. You can find me at Bryce Culver in trouble next to this person. And look at that
Was it going to
grimace
ruin
on her
your
face.
sweatshirt?
I just watched this.
Yeah, it's water. It's clean.
Water.
You can find me at Bryce Culver on Facebook and Instagram, and also at Trapdoor Toys on Instagram. And check out Alternate Heads on Instagram as well.
You can find me on Instagram at Korodono, KORODONO, where I post artwork and such. I also post some artwork on Twitter at Hawks Perch. I also scream constantly into the void about Suikoden there. You should join me if you like Suikoden. Actually, if you like Critical Role, you should play Suikoden because it has the same kind of political intrigue. You can also find me on Twitter at chaotic_noodle, where I post my screenshots from Final Fantasy XIV.
All right. And also, I forgot to add that in, but on the charity D&D game, it will be benefiting Extra Life, one of our favorite charities out there. There will be information in the comments below once we get all the charity stuff. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining us. We will see you next week for another episode of Nerd Pop Culture News on SCNS Live. So until then, we'll see you next week, and keep on nerding.
Nerding.
That's the microphones.
He's got a
After
disruptor.
Bryce, like,
He's disrupting the show with the disruptor.
sounds like a Pokemon.
Sounds like a